There's a monster under my bed, and at my window there's a dragon. I accepted the challenge, it turned me into a savage. I broke a promise to myself again. I don't know why I am so vulnerable. They try to help, but I won't let them in. I guess rock bottom's where I'm comfortable. Both my feet planted when most people would've panicked. I embraced the storm, I found beauty in what was damaged. I'm not afraid of the boogeyman. Instead I look at him like he's a friend. There's not a monster out there in the world that's scarier than the one that's within. There's a creature in my closet, I can hear him rumbling around. The demon screaming in the distance creates such a humbling sound. The monster that's outside my window, he's like family to me now. The things that people are afraid of never let me down.
Not to say this, no, but I'm hated, so my religious freaks say I'm the biggest beast and that I made it grow. When I spray this flow, I created mo. Creatures are like when I heat up the mic, I'm a breed of the night, but I'm tainted though. By the darkness I'm blinded, I sparked it and shined it. They find it cause mine is woe. But that they label me a demon seed, wanna disable, need to see them bleed, hinder me fatally and see them grieve, no. You would not believe the creature inside me if you deceive Khalifa's lively. We disagree when people defy me or try to take his. Whatever the fuckery toward them, you don't wanna wake this. You forsake his, what is sacred, then it's over no matter what your faith is. I'm a creature.
There's a creature in my closet, I can hear him rumbling around. The demon screaming in the distance creates such a humbling sound. The monster that's outside my window, he's like family to me now. The things that people are afraid of never let me down.
Yeah, I managed to get myself in trouble, all of this pain. Yeah, I'm damn in the dope, but dose of liquor's always to blame. If I could keep myself sober, I keep my hands to myself. I take a shot and it's over, that's how I end up in there. I hope I don't pass it down to my offspring. They get everything from their daddy, feel like I'm addicted to all things. There's no reason to change, gone too far now. I'm stuck in my ways, back at the bar now. They say I'm a flirt and they right, I ain't perfect, alright. So when I'm thirsty and perking and purposely searching for something that's hurting me so I just can't pack up and go, I just back out of it slow. That's how it go, I knock the back out the hole. And next like I don't know. I think he be laughing at me, hands be grabbing at me. Feel like God let it happen till we dab it blasphemy. And these be a dab it naturally. I think I better let it go. Either that or I gotta let it know. I can't do that.
There's a creature in my closet, I can hear him rumbling around. The demon screaming in the distance creates such a humbling sound. The monster that's outside my window, he's like family to me now. The things that people are afraid of never let me down.
Check, check, check. Oh, really? As soon as I start, the po-po in the background. Okay, if you hear the po-po in the background, I'm sorry about that. I don't know. Maybe they're coming for me. Zep, thank you for gifting those memberships. That was very nice of you. I appreciate that. Ugh, apparently I may have some interruptions with the po-po in my neighborhood. Just give me a second here. Give me a second here. So anyways, I was trying, it was like really boring, and I'm like, I don't know if I have enough time, and I started doing other things, and I'm like, it's freaking boring up in here, and there's like a lot of shit popping off in the news and stuff, and hey, sometimes I like to talk about shit, current events, and I got like 8,000 literally tabs open, and I have different notes, and I'm like, we could do this, we could do that, we could talk about this, and then every time I get something set, and I think I'm going to talk about it, like I was going to talk earlier, you heard by now, there's a sheriff in Kentucky that shot a Joe. I was going to talk about that, stuffing that up. off. The Diddy footage started getting leaked, and I'm like, oh Jesus, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know what to talk about. And then when I was streaming, some of you might remember the other day I was streaming that guy that was barricaded, and he said he wasn't going to leave unless, you know, they offed him. Well, I started checking out his page, and he had a lot of interest in videos, and it looked like, you know, he had been working up to that incident for several days, and I think the stuff that set him off was a few weeks prior, he had some issues with his children at school, and I don't know if that's what led to that mental breakdown, but it was kind of interesting seeing some of his other short videos. So I was like, maybe with the short time I have, just because there was nothing to do, maybe with some of the 8,000 tabs, we can select this. We can chat about that. We can chat about some of the Diddy stuff. Let me see what I got here. Yeah, the guy, yeah, he did have a lot of stuff going on, so I thought that was kind of interesting. So I have that, and then let me see which one I had up first. There's just so much going on. So the first tab that I had open, and pardon me, I might have to mute out here and there with whatever that is in the background. I don't know. Oh man, I got an ad blocker on this. Oh, okay, I got confused because my phone was behind. Just 1 second here. I think I have to connect my mic. I have to go back to the StreamYard on my phone. 1 second. That just confused me. Because I use my phone to see the chat. 1 sec.
Okay.
Okay, sorry about that. I had to connect my audio on the phone, just in case I need to switch. Okay, the first thing I guess I had on here, and I can't make that white bar go away, so I apologize. And hello to all y'all coming in. I'll take a look at what you're saying in just a second. I'm sure many of you heard that, you know, Mr. P. Diddy himself has been placed on suicide watch, and it's kind of interesting. He's been placed on suicide watch while he awaits his trial as charges mount up for the rapper. According to an insider who spoke to People, the decision was made as a cautionary step due to the concerns over poor Diddy's mental state and the shock of it all because of the situation. We talked about where he's being held the other day and how much of a shithole it is, and it's like the top shithole, and he's used to his spoon and silver spoon and caviar. So currently Diddy's being held at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Shithole Center after his arrest in Manhattan, following the raids, as you already know. And let's see, I don't know if there was much more to that. Can you believe that, though? His poor little mental state. It says, in other developments involving Diddy, his former prodigy Shine has criticized him, accusing him of ruining his life through a past nightclub shooting incident. I don't know much about that. Moreover, during a hotel altercation between Diddy and Cassie, it's alleged by the prosecutor that there was also a sex worker present in that room. I mean, we've all seen the footage of that when he, you know, was abusing her in the hallway. So, didn't know that. We already know he tried to offer $50 million. That was a no-go. It says his solicitor said on Wednesday that he's being housed in a special unit which offers an extra layer of security, and they're pushing for Diddy to move to a New Jersey prison, but the judge has decided the Bureau of Prisons shall have the final call. The special unit remains segregated from the general population. I wanted to get to more of the incidents in the jail. I think that's in here. Even though I already talked about the jail a little bit, some of you probably missed that. It's notorious for its frequent lockdowns, violent incidents, and the worrying surge in stabbings. It's been described as hell on earth, an ongoing tragedy. Highlighting the dire situation, Diddy's defense team filed a bail motion last Tuesday, citing grievous concerns. Just earlier this summer, an inmate was murdered. At least 4 inmates have died by suicide there in the past 3 years. As you know, Ghislaine Maxwell was held there for some of her charges, and she was complaining about the appalling conditions, malnutrition, hair loss, and the stench from defective lavatories, so on and so forth. Find that kind of interesting. He's probably in torture, but that's what you get, bitch. I'm sorry, did that slip? Poor P. Diddy. But he probably is shocked, obviously. He's used to a lavish lifestyle. Oh, what do we got here? I'm going to close that tab because I have so many open. I want to be able to flip through shit real quick, see what I found. Random little bits and pieces to chat about, and I will try to catch up on this chat. Apologize if I'm missing stuff. Oh, let's see what P. Diddy's first prison meal was after he was denied bail. Let's see what he picked. Just look at it. Just look at it. He swapped his usual 5-star dining for prison food. I know it said what he had here. The city's main federal detention center, known for its varied dinner menu. Really? That's pretty funny. He could have opted for a black bean burger, but seemed to prefer the meatballs. He got Swedish meatballs. Accompanying his meal were egg noodles, green beans, and a garden salad, as well as a 16-ounce drink. He's probably dying on that food. Black bean burgers, damn. I don't have anything like that. The hell? I'm sure the Swedish meatballs were probably more like dog meat, though. They probably were like dog food. He probably didn't. He's probably not eating well. Let me see. Despite being fed 3 times daily, the conditions are far from luxurious, which we already about again. And we already know he had that bail motion Tuesday, and the lawyer argued some recognized conditions detention center are not fit for pretrial detention. Why are they not fit? Facility plagued by reports of unsanitary conditions, including overflowing toilets, cockroach infestation, freezing temperatures following a fire that disrupted the system in the building. Notably, notorious inmates such as member mafia leaders. It's also Jeffrey Epstein Epsteined himself. Well, it doesn't say that, but I threw that part in there. It sounded better, I thought. Need any of the stuff. So that's a little something on his meal if you wanted to know that he Swedish balls. Yeah, I put that in there. What else do we got? Yeah, a new video around. Oh, did I forget to switch it? Damn it. Thought I caught that in time. Oh man, now I gotta turn this with 20 million tab. Just give me a minute, I dropped it. This one, go with that. I'm gonna go over here, and then I'm gonna try to find where I was, because I have so many Diddy things open. Oh, I forgot to watch that one. That one might be good. We have his kids' net worth. I don't think that's really that important. There's some video going around like concerning video of P. Diddy confronting Justin Bieber, and it's resurfacing amid the horrific allegations. But I don't think it's anything important. It's just a video of Bieber getting out of a car, and it shows Diddy like tapping him down for a wire, it looks like, possibly. But I don't get what the buzz is about that, so I'm not even going to click it. It's really nothing. If you see that headline anywhere, I think it's kind of like clickbait. What did you say? He didn't care about the conditions before. He should think better. Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you there. No, he's on suicide watch, and I think it's substantially separate because inmates like him can do a lot of shit with money. The money they have, they can pretty much run things. They can have people offer special protections by giving them full. It would be no problem for him to fill canteens, to have himself a whole gang that works for him, basically. Beating up anyone he wants. They'll do anything for ramen noodles and honey buns. There's many people that have nothing to lose. People that are lifers will do anything for the commissary stuff. That's basically their money in there. That is money to them. That is money. Wait, what is this one? And again, I tried to cram in as much as I can. I don't think anyone really care about the kids' net worth, but so I guess there's a lady, a family friend. It was actually a friend of Kim Porter, who I suspect, offed, like many people. But he has twin girls, and Kim Porter's friends watching them right now. I didn't realize he had kids, school age kids still. And I think there's a picture of the friend down here. I mean, I don't know if any of you knew that. I don't really know much about his life. Never really cared to know. Let me see. But that must be traumatizing for the children, at least, I didn't even realize he had 7 kids. I had no idea. Well, I don't see the one I wanted, so I'm going to close that one. Did y'all know he had 7 kids? Like I said, it's not like I really cared about him. I'm just talking about it because it's around, There's that Bieber headline. Oh, this is the video, actually. I just dropped it again. What the hell? What in the hell's going on here? I must be hitting the screen the wrong way. My bad. Let's see. I'm going to have to start with the wrong one again until I get to the one I want. Okay. So this is the video that's surfacing. Let me make sure it's there. It doesn't really have sound. I don't think it does anyway. It's really not much. I'm going to have to back it up. It's like 10 seconds. They're calling this concerning in headlines. I don't really see anything concerning. Yeah. Sorry. Oh, yeah, I keep dropping spit. That's really nothing to me. I don't think that's a big deal. It keeps dropping because I'm going fast. Let's see. So we talked about the suicide watch. We already saw that. I'm going to close that one. And I dropped it again. I'm trying to go too fast. I want to get rid of all these Diddy tabs that I have. What's this freak off room? Oh, yeah, the freak off room pictures are supposedly leaked. Let me see what this is all about. No, these are old ones. Somebody I think sent me the new one. If I don't see any new ones, I'll change it to something else. And supposedly when they raided the house, that's where the baby oil was. I thought he had left it ordered it sent to the, when they rent places, when they're having their freak offs off site. But apparently it was at his house. Oh, he must have a deal with the factory, Johnson & Johnson or something. I don't know. And they come in with pallets. I don't know what the hell he does. Weirdo. Yeah, that's not new footage right there, so I don't know why that's there. What's this? Is this the lady that ratted on him? Let me see. I'm going to share this one and get rid of this. That's why I keep dropping it by accident. Let me go over here. I did it. It's the wrong one. That maybe chaotic might. Is this all right? I watched her, so I don't really know if it's interesting. Most of these are short. I'm just trying to some shit because there ain't nothing on, This one says Aubrey O'Day backs Dawn Richards and exposes how Diddy used her. Was she his slave? Is this something you've seen? If you're in here, chaotic. Is it worth the watch? It's like about 18 minutes. Does it have some new info for us? I don't know if I know this chick. Also, the other day I wanted to show, what's his name again? Doctor, what's that funny, sarcastic doctor? I had a clip of that. Oh, we got an arrest clip too. Let me do that first. That's quick. Before when he got arrested, there was no footage, but I'm sure a lot of you already seen it already because it just came out today. It just leaked today. TMZ leaked it. Let's do that real quick, and then I'll look for chaotic. What's up, everyone? No sound. Those are the feds coming in right at him, and he had a big gang of people. See that shit? They're like, oh, hell no. If you look, let me see if my cursor's there. So the feds just came in and swooped him up. He had a whole gang of people right here about to go up in the room and party. And if you remember, when they grabbed him and arrested him recently, they found that pink substance, what I think is the pink, they call it pink cocaine, I think. the new slang term for that, pink powder anyways. These people were going up to party, and they're like, oh, hell. They just took him right there because he was supposed to be willingly surrendering the next day, and they went and got him a day early. So party's over, folks. The party's canceled. Caught him off guard, didn't they? The party is canceled. So the guys in the whites are the feds swooping in and grabbing him. He is fucked. Thank you for being a member, Sasha, for 7 months. It's all good, Nana. It's just like a bit of ADD live. Who stocks that much oil? Like, what are you doing, bro? I mean, besides having a grease bunghole, but Jesus, it's a little excessive. All right. And that's the big clip going around. There's a new one in Discord. Okay. And that's about it. That's the big fuss right now. Get rid of that one, but I got to switch to something else so I don't lose my shit. Oh, actually, yeah, we wanted to go to that other one. Didn't we? The one Chaotix. I think the one Chaotix sent me was that one. We got Dr. Grande, which I was going to play the other day. I think I already did this one. I think I just had that other woman pulled up, so now I got to find it. Where to go? I didn't want to have to go into the Discord if I didn't have to. Oh, we got that one. Oh, my Lord, there's so much Diddy. Holly Dolly, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you, thank you. This is the one right here. I can't see on this side who got him. But please dang, Holly Dolly, if you got one. It's alright, I'm not serious either. I love Todd Grande. I haven't seen him in a while. I'm trying to think, should I play the Grande one or this one? He's usually pretty funny. But I haven't seen one of his videos in a long time. Rapper. What the heck? I don't know. One. Yeah, I have to cram in as much as I can in a short time. Thank you, Debbie. Yeah, it's beyond freak. He's like some kind of weird demon. I don't know what the hell he is. Well, he ain't. He's on suicide watch now. That's all we know. Okay, that guy was interesting. We got the Kentucky shooting. And, you know, I've heard on the streets, I keep forgetting this, that one of our, you know, somebody on the streets had a medical issue and had some paralysis on her face. And I was wondering if anyone knows if she's all right and if they talk to her or if she's in here. I kind of wanted to ask her about that. So, Gypsy, if you're in the bushes, please come on. I just had some questions. I wanted to make sure you're okay, but something popped into my mind and I wanted to make sure they checked for it. They checked you out for something. So if you are around and pop, just let me know if you're here, because I did want to mention something.
That she was something of a
I wanted to mention something I read about just to make sure that they checked for it. Okay, let me see here now. Should we do this one or Grande? I am on a limited time. We also can talk about the Kentucky shooter or go back to Edwidge, the guy that was barricaded the other day, and look at some of his short clips. They are pretty colorful, I'll say that. I'll play this for now for a few minutes. Let's check it out. We'll check it out. How about that? Okay, it's in StreamYard already.
She was a part of Dirty Money, and she also appeared on Diddy's last album, Love, which he dropped in September 2023, only a few weeks before Cassie's lawsuit dropped. And let's not even get into the fact that she had always talked about how fiercely loyal she was to Diddy and how he was always going to have her loyalty no matter what, because he bought her out of a bad contract. And she said he will always be her forever homie.
Ever since you went independent, do you
bought her?
You talk to Diddy?
That doesn't sound nice.
Not as often as I'd like, but that's the homie forever. Yeah. People will never understand that relationship. You know, like, people didn't know that Puff had bought me out of a contract prior to even getting on the show.
Really?
So I had loyalty to that, you know, and that's a respect that
Also, I should mention, if anyone wants to come up and comment on these with me, you know, if you want to do that, you can. I'll drop the link.
I understand that I loved my group,
Most people.
and I know that it wasn't I chose Puff over my group at the time. It was more of when someone does that, where I come from, you got to respect that on a large level. So I gave loyalty to him, and I think I'll never forget that, and my father and my mother for what.
That's a great one to play, because now that this is out, I'm thinking of so many other clips, and I found another. Remember the lady I was talking about the other day that she reported that he shot her in the face in the club many years ago? I have that clip still pulled up from the other day too, because I was going to do some of those clips. He has so many people that have claimed to have been hurt by him, you know, and a lot of people they didn't listen to, just like that sex slave. A lot of the stuff that he's saying, if you go back and watch some of it, now people are thinking twice. Oh man, this guy might not have been crazy after all. He was telling the truth, because he gave a lot of graphic details in that interview. And I think I know exactly, I'm pretty sure I know the one you're talking about, and nobody listened to him back then.
What we gone through, we'll never forget that. And I think with
Milli
all
Vanilli.
this crazy, I look at things like that as loyalty. So I was loyal
Milli
to him, and I
Vanilli.
paid my dues back like a businesswoman should.
Right.
Until he said, "Okay, your dues are paid," and then I left.
I'm willing to check out anything. The past few days, I've been in rabbit holes like freaking. I went back to the Madeline Soto stuff just because I found a channel, Grizzly True Crime, and I got sucked into all her clips. They're very well put together. I really liked it, and a couple other things like that. I just, you know, sometimes that happens to me, and I disappear in the crime stuff.
Leave you after you did me something,
and then just
a solid, and they say, "Oh, by the way, thank you for buying out my contract, but now I'm gonna go over here." I just never said anything about that. I kept, and I never told anybody. I took all the hate that came with it, that people thought I had didn't choose my group. I just took it because it's a loyalty thing for me. It's a respect.
Absolutely.
You know, and I didn't want to get shelved. I didn't want to get like financially and business wise. It just wasn't smart.
Yeah.
So I wanted to pay my dues, so I did, and I always respect him for that.
Yeah. She also claimed that she had no bad story about Diddy.
That's it. You know, it wasn't all perfect. It wasn't all great. Yeah. He's exactly what people say he is, but he's also, he gave me a shot. I don't have the story that you have. I have I got out alive.
I also might shorten this too. I might just play a little of it. We'll see.
Yeah.
And I got out with a business, and I don't have no bad stories. That was only support. So if you do good by other people, they'll do good by you.
So because of this, a lot of people felt the type of way about her lawsuit, and she has also been accused of making things up for a quick payday. However, if you read between the lines, you'll probably realize that she actually dropped some hints that things weren't what they seemed. For example, in the interview, she talked about how much things weren't perfect and how she was lucky to get out alive. It seems like she was scared to tell the truth and was just going along with whatever version of the story Diddy wanted her to tell. And honestly, can you blame her? Diddy allegedly blew up Kid Cudi's car and allegedly bragged to multiple people about how he could make people disappear. So yeah, it looks like Dawn was thinking that she needed to stroke his ego and keep her mouth shut until a time when he was vulnerable enough for her to come forward and tell her truth. And y'all, did she ever spill her truth? In her lawsuit, she backed Cassie up, claiming that she witnessed Diddy put hands on Cassie multiple times, and that when she tried to help Cassie, Diddy allegedly tried to unalive her. The court document said on numerous occasions, Miss Richard witnessed Mr. Combs brutally beat his girlfriend, Miss Cassandra Cassie Ventura, Miss Ventura. His persistent abuse included choking and strangling Miss Ventura, striking her with his hands and with objects, slapping her, punching her, and throwing items at her, including a scalding hot pan.
Bro, a scalding hot pan? What the fuck?
On many occasions, Miss...
I don't know about that one. Sounds like there may have been some after all. You never know from all the shit I've been finding.
Tried to intervene, offering Miss Ventura support and encouragement to leave Mr. Combs. Each time, Mr. Combs learned of her efforts to help Miss Ventura and became enraged, threatening Miss Richards' life with statements such as, "You want to die today? I make ninjas go missing, and I end people." And y'all remember how Cassie said that Diddy often put hands on her in public and people never tried to help her? Dawn also revealed that Diddy once punched Cassie in front of Neo and Usher.
Oh, actually, let me pause here. Also, when I printed out the paperwork from the court the other day, when it was sealed, you know, the day it became unsealed, the next day after he went to court. Where is that? Do I have that document right here? I think I do. I might have packed it. Oh, just 1 second. I know I printed that. Actually, I'll play it and then I'll pull it out when I find it. Just 1 second.
But they didn't even flinch.
Holly Dolly, thank you for becoming a member.
And continued eating. The lawsuit says Combs hosted a dinner at a West Hollywood, California restaurant, which Miss Richard and Miss Harper were required to attend. Among the guests at the dinner were celebrities like Neo and Usher, as well as Mr. Levine. At the dinner, Mr. Combs and Miss Ventura had an argument. In front of the dinner guests, Mr. Combs hissed at Miss Ventura in a screaming whisper and forcibly punched her in the stomach, causing her to double over in visible pain. Crying, Miss Clark escorted Miss Ventura out of the restaurant, and Mr. Combs remained and continued socializing with the dinner guests. Don also backed up Little Rod's claims about how Diddy had some young girls partying in the studio using some not legal substances. Often while they were recording in the studio, Mr. Combs would hold parties where he would invite young men and women who were often skeptical.
Sasha, she's very good. I got sucked into watching a lot of the stuff. I couldn't stop watching. Yeah, very good, very well put together. I agree.
Dressed and appeared underage to use drugs and engage in sex acts. Miss Richard observed Mr. Combs and his colleagues kissing, groping, and inappropriately touching the young women. Upon information and belief, the participants often left the immediate area to have intercourse and returned shortly thereafter. The lawsuit also talked about how badly Diddy treated girls of Daddy King while producing Making the Band 3 and 4. She said, throughout the productions of Making the Band 3 and 4, Mr. Combs deprived Miss Richard and her Daddy King bandmates of basic needs, such as adequate food and sleep. When Miss Richard or her Daddy King bandmates requested meals or rest, Mr. Combs refused and chastised them with derogatory comments like, "You bees don't want this," or "Y'all are not hungry enough," and "I'm paying you bees to work." It continued. Upon information and belief, Mr. Combs would regularly be awake for prolonged periods of time because he was high on drugs. During these periods, Mr. Combs demanded continuous access to Miss Richard and her Daddy King bandmates, often forcing them to record and rehearse for stretches of 36 to 48 hours without
just going
breaks.
through the indictment.
And one time she tried to stand up for herself, well, allegedly, Diddy had one of his goons lock her in an unheated car in the middle of winter. The lawsuit says Miss Richard screamed as loudly as she could, but no one responded. It was late evening in the wintertime. The windows were heavily tinted, and the interior of the car was dark except for faint interior lights. Miss Richard's belongings and winter coat were in the studio, while the ignition was off and there was no heat. With Mr. Combs' prior threats and violence running through her mind, Miss Richard felt sheer panic, terror, and feelings of claustrophobia at being locked in a small, dark, enclosed space with no way to communicate or call for help. She began to feel cold and feared for her life, not knowing when or if she would be released. Y'all, this situation is crazy, but according to Aubrey O'Day, Don was not the only member of Danny D. Kane to have gotten his treatment from Diddy, because she also got treated like that. Looking back, we should have seen the red flags waving in the air because Making the Band was a crazy hot mess. But at the time, reality TV was messy and very toxic, so everybody took it as normal back then. I mean, y'all remember how toxic some other similar shows like America's Next Top Model were? So at the time, nobody really thought that what Diddy did to Danny D. Kane on the show was that bad. However, Aubrey was one of those people who tried hard to fight back against Diddy and didn't take any BS from him. She was very stubborn, and this caused her to clash with Diddy many times.
What do you want to look like, though? Do you want to look like a playboy, playmate? Do you want to look like you?
I'm done with all of that.
No.
Like,
what do you want to look like, though?
I'll tell you.
What do you want to look like, though?
I'll tell you. I'm not focused on me. I'm focused on what this group should look like and how I should fit in this situation.
You like big hair, though.
I don't like big hair.
Like big hair. You like big hair. You like a lot of makeup and all that.
Actually, I don't. I don't like big hair. I don't like certain makeup. I'm very flexible with what you want to do, and I've worked with everything that you've thrown
I'm not seeing the flexibility. You gaming me.
Your hair people came in today and they said this is how it needs to be.
You know what I'm talking about. You're pushing your own image, though.
I'm not worried about whether my hair is straight, curly, whatever. I'm not here in a group to have curly, straight, big, makeup, whatever. I'm here in a group to sing with my group, and that is all I care about.
She was not about to let Diddy pressure her into being something she wasn't, and she made that very clear to him. It turns out that the real reason Aubrey and Diddy kept butting heads was that allegedly Diddy was trying to get her to be one of his girls on the low, if you know what I mean. Yeah, he supposedly tried to hook up with them, and when they said no, he started acting out and treating them poorly. And to make matters worse, they couldn't really speak up because he had them locked down with an ironclad NDA. So they were basically stuck. Now, after the band broke up, Diddy still tried to control the girls, but Aubrey was not about to hand him the controls. For example, a few weeks after Cassie filed her lawsuit, Diddy made a big show of giving his former artists their masters back, claiming that he was just being a good person. However, it turns out that he knew that Cassie's lawsuit was coming, and he was trying to get some good publicity before the storm of the lawsuit blew up. While he gave the masters back, he said, "It's just doing the right thing. I think that we as an industry and as a people have to look in the mirror and make a shift forward. It's about evolving, leading by example, and reforming an industry that needs it in a world that needs reform." I'll tell you one thing that I do want people to know. It's not a publicity stunt or anything like that. What he didn't mention was that before he handed over the masters, he made them sign an...
Good point about J-Lo. You know, I wonder if she'll get called in to testify too, because she could be witness. She could be, who knows what will come with her, because she's accused or alleged to have done a lot of shady things too. I wonder.
NDA, basically
maybe they'll give her some sort of immunity or something. I don't know.
Promising to never spill any information about what really went down at Bad Boy Records. At the time, it came off like a nice gesture, but now, with everything we know, there was definitely more to it. Turns out he already knew Cassie's lawsuit was on the horizon and was clearly trying to rack up some good PR before things hit the fan. But not everybody was fooled. Some of his former artists saw right through it and refused to sign.
How'd that work for you in your Swedish meatball noodle-looking ass?
One of those artists were Aubrey O'Day.
It's about $800, $900, some in the hundreds, okay? And in order to get that, I have to release him for any claims or wrongdoings or actions prior to the date of the release. I have to sign that I'll never disparage Puff, Bad Boy, Janice Combs, or Justin Combs' music, or EMI, or Sony ever in public. So what's happening is artists, some of them, not all of them, are being given streaming royalties and ownership back over our publishing on songs that we wrote. At a time when you know that you have to stream a song 1,000,000 times to make a cent.
Yeah.
Okay. It's hundreds of dollars. And me, as somebody that's a girl's girl, I hit everyone in my group and said, absolutely do not take this deal. I can get us a show on Hulu right now.
She also claimed that those masters weren't even worth that much, only about $800 or $900. Definitely less than $1,000. And Diddy was out here acting like he was offering some life-changing deal while trying to get them to sign their souls away. But Aubrey wasn't having
$800 or $900.
She even convinced the other girls in her group not to sign the NDA either. Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Dill, also confirmed the story.
All his artists, when he gave them their publishing back. I'm going to give y'all
I bet he's going to be a star witness.
publishing, but y'all can't talk about Janice Combs, Justin Combs, Sony, Bad Boy, or anything that happened. Y'all can't talk about none of that. But there's some artists that didn't say anything, that didn't sign it, and they able to talk about anything they want to. And I think that's those girls that was, I think Danny came. I think a couple of them didn't sign it.
Because she didn't sign that NDA, Aubrey is free to talk about her time with Diddy, and y'all, she has been spilling. She exposed how Diddy would purposefully pit the girls against each other, causing drama and division, so he could keep control over them.
Also, the guy that said that he used to be Diddy's slave, people thought he was crazy too.
Stories that we have to tell during a time in music where there were gatekeepers, there were people that owned labels like Puff running things, and the way that the divisions and the divisiveness occurred, and the things that we experienced between each other and us against the system are fucking insane.
She then claimed that not only would Diddy body shame them, but he also tried to hook up with them and got mad when they turned him down.
Thing you could imagine why somebody would want to fire somebody. I wasn't willing to do.
Tried to body shame her? Come on, look at her. Just look at her.
What was expected of me.
That's ridiculous.
Not talent-wise, but in other areas.
And were other girls doing?
I was the only one that was in those types of positions. He was the hardest person that you can work for, and it was torture. And not the work part of it, but the other stuff. Mind games, like just all the girls were so divided, and the men and the people running it had their hands in it, moving everything. It's difficult when you're that young to understand your worth as a woman through the men that I was around, and that was very traumatic. I don't think any of us have healed from that. Diddy would be like, you're not hot anymore, like what happened? You don't have anything, like you don't have any curves. You're looking like you're not looking like, I can't get people to think that you're my good looking person.
Looking back now, even just watching the show, it's very clear that Diddy was bullying them right in front of everyone. But like I said, reality TV was so wild back then that most people either didn't think much of it or didn't realize how wrong it was. But fast forward to Cassie's lawsuit and all the other lawsuits piling up against him, and folks are finally connecting the dots, realizing just how messed up he really was. For example, remember how Diddy was always telling them how to dress and act? Well, turns out it wasn't just about their public image. Allegedly, he was pimping them out to other men. He wanted them to look a certain way to the men he was supposedly hooking them up with.
Because I heard him, and I'm giving you this.
Pimping
Aubrey,
them out.
He stood up there and he said, in front of a lot of people,
Pimp Daddy.
We were in the studio. And I said something to him and walked out the studio. He said, yo, I'm going to drug their ass off and pick them up and pimp them out to my nigga. He said, I'm going to drug them out. I'm going to get them all on drugs. And I'm going to pimp their ass out to my nigga.
Yeah.
I was like, there's somebody kids. And walked out.
Well, Aubrey O'Day is also claiming that Diddy allegedly did some horrible things to her, too, if you know what I mean. She claimed that Diddy allegedly touched her inappropriately and allegedly tried to SA her on multiple occasions. But not only that, treated her like a slave, and that she had it worse than other girls in the group because she was the only one with the guts to talk back to him and stand up for herself. She claimed that this made Diddy even more into her, and the more she tried to stand up for herself, the more he tried to break her down and get her to bend to his demands. She described it as a toxic situation and that she was lucky to get away when she did. And you know the fans have a whole lot of questions and a lot of things to say. And they've been tweeting stuff like Aubrey O'Day been talking about Diddy for years and nobody been paying her any attention. Aubrey refused to sign an NDA. Diddy canceled her because she knows the truth. Too many roads.
Bro, what? What? The fuck?
Lead to Diddy for me to think it's something else. The truth will come to light, not discrediting Dawn. Diddy is disgusting and belongs in hell. But Aubrey O'Day has been speaking out, vocalizing facts for years, and was painted to look like a deranged, bitter woman who was fired from Daddy Kane. She never backed down from his dirty, demonic behind, even under contract. And Aubrey O'Day will be filing her lawsuit against Diddy next. She's been ready to go to court in her peep-toe wedges. Y'all, this situation is absolutely wild and crazy. What a time we're living in. But I gotta know what y'all think about this. Drop your thoughts and comments below, and then check out this next video.
Oh shit, so she's filing next. What you gonna do now? Yotch. Can't do nothing now. Not from your protective little custody. I wonder how many more people are gonna come out. Damn. Damn. Well, let me see. So what she's saying, it's all backed up in the indictment, and this didn't even have anything to her that have anything to do with her that I know of. So on page 7 of the indictment, it says, Combs subjected victims to physical and emotional and verbal abuse to cause the victims to engage in freak-offs. Combs maintained control over his victims through, among other things, physical violence, promises of career opportunities, granting and threatening to withhold financial support, and by other coercive means, including tracking their whereabouts, dictating the victim's appearance, monitoring their medical records, which I have no idea how that's possible, controlling their housing, and supplying them with controlled substances. During and separate from freak-offs, Combs, among other things, hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims at times by their hair. These assaults often resulted in injuries that took days or weeks to heal. Combs also threatened victims' careers and livelihoods, including if they resisted participating in freak-offs. Victims believed they could not refuse Combs' demands without risking their financial or job security, or without repercussions in the form of physical or emotional abuse. Oh, my paper's blown away. 1 second. Combs also used sensitive, embarrassing, and incriminating recordings that he made during freak-offs as collateral to ensure the continued obedience and silence of the victims. Combs himself carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten others, including victims of and his witnesses to abuse. And then a little bit on page 8, let's see. Members and associates of Combs' enterprise enabled Combs' control over victims by following his directions regarding financial payments to victims, advancing or suppressing the victim's career opportunities, and acquiring the controlled substances Combs used to keep the victims compliant. So he used drugs. Sometimes he slipped the drugs unknowingly. He got them real messed up with some really crazy drugs, which that's in other sections of the indictment, but okay. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise at times witnessed Combs' violence towards the victims or the victims' injuries caused by Combs without intervening. I'm sure they were scared. I mean, if they did, it sounds like. Instead, members and associates of the Combs enterprise helped conceal the violence and abuse by, among other things, assisting Combs in monitoring and preventing victims from leaving locations. So basically, he kept them hostage, according to the indictment, such as hotel rooms or Combs' residence. So he prevented them from leaving hotels or his own house. That's hostage, plain and simple. It says these occasions included instances in which a victim was required to remain in hiding, sometimes for several days at a time, to recover from injuries Combs inflicted without being publicly observed. So he didn't want people to see. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise also assisted Combs in locating and contacting the victims who attempted to flee his abuse. Bro, this guy's fucking psycho. So that was from page 8 of the indictment. I shared that on the last live I did, I guess. I shared a link to get the indictment too, I believe, in the chat. So what else do we got? I don't have a lot of time. We could do a little bit. See, I was going to do some stuff on the Kentucky shooting. This is kind of a mismatch. Or we could do either Dr. Let's see. Let me see how long the Grande clip is. Oh, that's 12 minutes. His title alone says it all. His title is, let me move a little so you can under my avatar. You can see it now. Will one second be enough for Diddy to slip out of jail? I love Dr. I like that one. We'll keep doing a little mismatch of current shit. So I could play the Grande thing. That's 12 minutes. We could view a little bit of the hostage guy from the other day's channel, which looks like this. I'll give you a little preview. And again, I think that the whole barricade, that's what I meant to say, excuse me. The barricade situation, I think, is a result of, originally started from it that happened at his children's school, and it worked up. He had a lot of run-ins with the law after that from being mouthy. But all these videos are him claiming these people are after him. It was just crazy to see all these clips. He's been doing it for a month. They're all very short, but it sounds like the paranoia built up. He believed his family was being attacked, and it's crazy. I witnessed some of their school board meetings, and they were just crazy. They didn't really let anyone talk. It was frightening, to say the least, but interesting at the same time. So I could do a little of that, or I could do Dr. Grande, or we could view the clips on the Kentucky judge who was fatally shot in the judge's chamber by the sheriff in Kentucky, which is crazy in itself. But now that little Kentucky town is without their sheriff and their judge. So court's been canceled today, as you can probably guess. Let's see. Oh, I know. It sucks as it is. I don't think it was fair that they didn't allow any cameras in the courtroom, not even a picture. All they would allow is a sketch artist, and I don't think not to criticize the art, but he didn't really capture the likeliness, I don't think. I don't think his drawing of Diddy really looked like Diddy, but art's in the eye of the beholder, of course. Yeah. Should I do the Kentucky one? I thought most of you probably heard about it already. Let me see which one I want to do. Because there's a lot of different rumors floating around. Let me see if this one has a clip. Maybe I'll do the other one first, if it has a clip. Yeah, I'll go back to this one. I think, yeah, this one has a little clip, the ABC News one. Let me go to that real quick. Let me go to this. There's apparently a bunch of rumors. I wish we could get somebody from the area. Let me play this. I don't like these ones because of the ad blockers, but I'll see if I could do it. Because I have the good YouTube without ads, but you can't get out of them. Let me pause right there for a second to answer this. The problem is they do have the cameras, but this happened in the judge's chamber, which usually there's never cameras. You know, there's sometimes secret meetings and everything, but they're probably going to do something different after this, I would say. Or no weapons in the chamber or something like that. You know what I mean? No sound? Okay. You know what the problem is? I apologize. I'll start over again. A lot of times when I switch tabs, that's a new thing I notice, and I don't know why. So the only trick is to go back to StreamYard, drop it, stop, and present again. And I don't know why. We'll try it again. Thank you for telling me. I have to remember to keep notice of the chat for those announcements. Let's see. Here it is. We'll try again. And please let me know yay or nay if it works.
Judge in his chamber. A sheriff is in custody, and Faith Abube joins us with the story. Good morning, Faith.
Yeah, good morning to you, Michael. This deadly shooting has shaken the small Kentucky community to its core. Police say the sheriff walked
Is that good?
into the judge's chamber. Witnesses heard an argument, and then moments later, multiple gunshots. This morning, a Kentucky sheriff is behind bars after allegedly opening fire on a district judge at a courthouse Thursday, killing him. Several law enforcement agencies responding to reports of gunfire inside the Letcher County Courthouse just before 3 p.m., finding 54-year-old District Judge Kevin Mullins suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. He died at the scene.
We know that it was an argument between the two that led up, but what exactly transpired prior to the shots being fired, still things that we're trying to get answers to.
43-year-old Sheriff Sean Steins taken into custody at the scene, charged with one count of first-degree murder. Investigators haven't released a motive. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear tweeting, "There's far too much violence in this world, and I pray there's a path to a better tomorrow." And Rebecca, authorities haven't said exactly what led to the argument between the sheriff and the judge, but they do say the sheriff is cooperating with their investigation. Rebecca.
Just so shocking that it all went down there inside the courthouse. Okay, Faith, thank you.
Let me turn down some of this background. Pretty crazy, huh? I hope I didn't just mess up the mic here. It was in Whitesburg, Kentucky, and it's part of Letcher County. And I don't think we have anyone in here from that area. But I'll get to some of what the locals are saying about this. But let me just see what this article says about it. This is from CBS. It says the sheriff who allegedly shot and killed a rural Kentucky judge in his courthouse chambers was accused in a federal lawsuit of failing to investigate allegations that one of his deputies repeatedly sexually abused a woman in the same judge's chambers. Letcher County Sheriff Sean Steins. His name is Sean Steins, but what I found is he actually goes by Mickey. That's his middle name, so he's referred to as Mickey. Sheriff Mickey. Anyways, where was I? Okay, County Sheriff Sean Steins has been charged with murder in the first degree in Thursday's shooting. The preliminary investigation indicates that Steins, 43, shot District Judge Kevin Mullins multiple times following an argument inside the courthouse, according to Kentucky State Police. Mullins, 54, who held the judgeship for 15 years, died at the scene, and Steins surrendered without incident. Just what the two men were arguing about wasn't immediately made clear. We know that it was an argument between the two that led up, but what exactly transpired prior to the shots being fired, that's still things that we're trying to get answers to, Kentucky State Police Trooper Matt Gayhart told reporters last night. Gayhart called the shooting an isolated incident. Now, the judge, let me see, Kevin Mullins, he was 54. It doesn't say in this article, but I already had that written down. So Steins was deposed on Monday in a lawsuit filed by two women, one of whom alleged that a deputy forced her to have sex inside the chambers for 6 months in exchange for staying out of jail. The lawsuit accuses the sheriff, not the sheriff that, just to be clear, not the one that shot the judge. It was somebody that worked for him. The lawsuit accuses the sheriff of deliberate indifference in failing to adequately train and supervise the deputy that is alleged to have done this. The now former deputy sheriff, Ben Fields, who is the one in question, pleaded guilty to raping the female prisoner while she was on home incarceration. Fields was sentenced this year to 6 months in jail, then 6.5 years on probation for rape, sodomy, perjury, and tampering with a prisoner monitoring device, the Mountain Eagle reported. 3 charges related to his second woman were dismissed because she is now dead. Well, that's unfortunate. Steins fired Fields, who was the successor as Mullins' bailiff, for conduct unbecoming after the lawsuit was filed in 2022. And then it just says, the killing of the judge sent shockwaves through the tight-knit Appalachian town. Whitesburg is the county seat of a government with about 1,700 residents, located about 145 miles southeast of Lexington. Rather than hold the sheriff in the local jail, authorities booked Steins into the Leslie County Detention Center, 2 counties away, where he remained Friday morning. The lead county prosecutor, Matt Butler, described an outpouring of sympathy as he recused himself in his office from the investigation, citing social and family ties to Mullins. We all know each other here. Anyone from Letcher County would tell you that Judge Mullins and I married sisters and that we have children who are first cousins but act like siblings, Butler said in a statement from his office. For that reason, among others, I have already taken steps to recuse myself and my entire office. So let's see. Let me go back to that. About the sisters here, because I hadn't seen that part. I didn't know they were related that way too, because I had read actually somewhere else that the prosecutor was a brother-in-law to the judge. Yeah, brother-in-law to the judge. So this is kind of more tight-knit than I thought. Kentucky Attorney General Russell Coleman said his office will collaborate with a Commonwealth's attorney in the region as special prosecutors in the criminal case. Mullins was hit multiple times in the shooting, state police said. We will fully investigate and pursue justice, Coleman said on social media. Kentucky Supreme Court Justice Lawrence B. Van Meter said he was shocked by the act of violence and that the court system was shaken by the news. Letcher County Judge Executive closed the county courthouse on Friday. It's unclear whether Steins had an attorney. State police referred inquiries to a spokesperson who did not immediately respond by email. There's far too much violence in the world, and I pray there is a path to a better tomorrow. Mullins served as a district judge in Letcher County since he was appointed by former Governor Steve Beshear in 2009 and elected the following year. Now, rumors. There's all kind of buttload of rumors about this shit. Now, let's see. Let me look at chat a little here because I haven't been able to see this while I've been reading, of course. Let's see. Huh? Is Berto here? Hello, I don't see you. Let's see. Again, I don't think I have anything else in the area. Anyone in the chat that's from the area, that is. Oh. Oh, wow. Something, Flossie. So about this shooting, let me go back to my notes. I wrote a few things here. So anyways, what I'm hearing from the rumor mill, according to other things I read, and it's obviously all alleged. Now, so the sheriff was supposed to be taking care of another incident, with one of his deputies that he fired for, there was a woman in jail that what was his name? Brian, it said in here, one of his deputy, Brian, that was charged with, raping the inmate and everything. So what he did was, Brian, the guy that was fired, he bribed the girl and said, because she couldn't afford to be on a tether, and he said, if you do this with me, if you do that, favors, certain favors, I'll get you on the ankle monitor, and she couldn't pay for it, so he said, I'll do this and agree to do that. So that in itself was pretty dirty. Then the other rumors, and again, these are circulating, the reason why this sheriff even shot the judge, he went into the chambers to talk to the judge regarding his own daughter. It was alleged that that judge was doing things with his daughter. Okay, so it was alleged that this judge was fooling around with his underage daughter, and that he's done it many times in his chamber and been having sex with girls in his chamber. Now, do I know if that's true? No, but that's what a lot of the folk around there are saying in my own investigations. So again, it's reported that this judge, who's 54-year-old, was having inappropriate relations with the sheriff's 17-year-old daughter, which, if true, anyone would be naturally angry about that. She can't fully give consent, number one, so that would be SA. Number two, you'd be using your power of authority. You'd be bribing. You'd be using your judges' chambers. There's so many things. You could just go on and on and on. So I don't know if that's true, but that would be cause for a motive. I'm not saying it's okay to go shoot a judge, but that would be motive why a crime like that would happen. People outside the court heard them arguing in the room. Another, and somewhere else I read, and like I said, these are all speculations, that sheriff was to be going there to talk to him, and I don't even know. Somebody said arrest him. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that would have came out. If it was true, I would think they would have talked about some sort of a arrest warrant or something, because it's not every day that a judge would be getting charged for something like that. And I haven't heard any talk about that for the rest of the day. Most I could find is, their notes, and a lot of the stuff was shady stuff about the guy that the sheriff had fired previously, and he was doing shady stuff with inmates. So this whole thing is a big fuck shit mess, really. It's a big mess. So I'm imagining the investigation, a lot more shit's going to come out in the next few days. So it's pretty sketchy shit. You don't hear about shit like this all the time. And then you got the people that are related, the brother-in-law, and some are saying the prosecutor was too, this is again alleged, but would make sense, that the prosecutor is too lenient with the judge because they're brother-in-laws with each other, okay? You got the brother-in-law, the prosecutor's brother-in-law to the judge, allegedly, okay? So that's another thing. People are saying he wouldn't do anything because they're freaking related. If that's true or not, I can't verify. This is all the stuff I found out in my, brief little investigations on here of all I could find, There's not a lot of shit out. Not yet. And of course, if you look on other platforms, you'll see all kinds of shit and townsfolk congratulating the sheriff. You got a lot of people congratulating the sheriff and saying justice, because he was upset that his underage daughter was having sex with a 54-year-old judge. Again, I don't know if that's true, but these are just Oh, is it close to Harlan? I was wondering. Yeah, and the sheriff was supposedly about to testify for the defense of that cop, yeah. But the cop that got fired, Brian, I can't remember his last name, but it's in this article. He was bribing inmates and stuff for doing favors too. But he actually was charged with rape. It did say in here, and sodomy. I fucking hate that word. I don't even like saying it. Go back to that. So there's some shady shit going on over here. This is some crazy fucked up shit. Trying to find his name real quick. Yeah, the deputy was forcing her to have sex inside the judge's chambers. So there's banging, all kind of banging going on in there, it sounds like. And the lawsuit accuses the sheriff, the other one. Oh, okay, this sheriff right here that shot the judge is accused of deliberate indifference and failing to adequately train and supervise one of his deputies. That would be Ben Fields. Ben Fields is his name. Now former deputy Ben Fields. And this Ben Fields pleaded guilty to raping the female prisoner while she was on home incarceration again. Fields was already sentenced. Yeah, that's the one I read about. He was sentenced. So he bribed her to get the ankle monitor and said, I'll help you. I'll help you get out if you do me these favors. I'll help you get out of jail. Again, she said, I can't afford that. Oh, I'll take care of that for you. I'll get the judge to give you the ankle monitor. That's everything I could find anyways on this. And a lot of what I said, some of the stuff I've said, again, whenever it's speculation or rumors in the town and stuff, I've tried to say that what I know is just rumor. But again, that would give motive. If that judge, again, was messing with his daughter, I don't know. If it's true, that would be disgraceful. He's 54 years old. I have no idea. I don't know. Shit's going on in Letcher County. But they're out a judge and a sheriff, so there's some job openings, if that's your kind of job you're looking for. I don't really have much time. It was kind of like a mismatch of time I had here. A mismatch of shit, clips I pulled up just to make the shit more interesting. Maybe I could play Dr. Todd Grande one. That might be quick. That's a 12-minute clip. I might do that one before I end. So, it's really right there? Okay, so I was wondering if any people in our community traders knew anything about this, and I had no idea. I hadn't looked on the map yet. I hadn't got to it, because I was sort of just writing notes about what I could put up here for today. That's crazy shit, so I wonder if anyone knows any of the people there. Damn. We could end it on Dr. Grande, because he's always got some good humor. Yeah, let's do a little Dr. Grande. Yeah, I don't know if I haven't seen Leslie. We know she's from Harlan, but that's fucking crazy. Oh, I'm sorry, Sandy. Just a little mismatch of stuff. Let's do Dr. Grande. Oh, I gotta wait and you can tell me if it's muted.
For an update on the case.
I guess tell me if it has sound or not, because I know when I switch, sometimes it doesn't. Well, hello, Jody. It's just a little bit of current events, and I am just about ending, but I'm going to play this clip. If you all need something to watch later, it's just talking about some of the crazy shit going on in the world.
Case of Sean Combs.
But I have to make sure you can hear.
His federal indictment.
I'm going to pause it so you can tell me if there was sound, or do I got to drop it and pull it up again? Damn. Thanks for the picture of the map. Pretty crazy. I should upload that. Oh, you do hear it? Okay, I'm going to play it, and then I might pause it at some point to give you a map of Letcher County and how close it is to counties, people in our community.
Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video, only speculating about what could be happening in a situation like this. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to my channel and consider supporting me on Patreon. I will put the link to Patreon in the description of this video. First, I'll look at the background page, move to the summary of the indictment, then announce. Sean Combs is a known rapper and businessman. Started in 1990. Over the years, he has gone by the names Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, and just Diddy. He owns several businesses, including a marketing agency.
About how he reads his. Up the map real quick before Diddy stuff. I changed my mind. So, Letcher County, and there is, or the town that's happening is Whitesburg, Kentucky. Touching. That's crazy shit. Crazy. All right, I'm going to play this and go do something.
record labels, a recording studio, a television network, a media company, an alcohol business, and an apparel line. This has made Sean a billionaire. Despite being exceptionally wealthy, or perhaps because of it, Sean has frequently engaged in controversial behavior. For example, in 1999, he was charged with attacking a record executive with a champagne bottle. In 2001, he was arrested for driving with a suspended license. In 2007, Sean was sued after allegedly punching a man outside a nightclub. In 2017, he was sued by his former personal chef. She claimed that he conducted harassment of a sexual nature. In November 2023, Sean was sued by a former romantic partner named Cassie Ventura. Among her many allegations, she claimed that Sean arranged to have male sex workers engage in activity with her as he watched. She also accused him of committing an assault of a sexual nature. Cassie's lawsuit settled one day after it was filed. Right after this, Sean was sued by two other women who made similar accusations. Sean was sued again in December 2023 and in February 2024. Feeling the pressure from all these lawsuits, Sean released a statement indicating people were trying to destroy his legacy and damage his character. On March 25, 2024, federal agents raided properties in Los Angeles and Miami connected to Sean. The government indicated that the raid was related to allegations involving firearms, illegal narcotics, and offenses of a sexual nature. On April 4, 2024, Sean was accused by a former employee of committing an assault of a sexual nature against her in December 2022 while she was working on a yacht that he had chartered. This same month, April 2024, surveillance video was released that captured an incident involving Sean and Cassie in March of 2016 in a hotel in Los Angeles. Despite the fact that Cassie's lawsuit had already settled, this video was damaging to Sean's reputation. He was captured grabbing Cassie by her neck, throwing her to the floor, and kicking her a couple of times. After that, he dragged her for a few feet. This behavior appeared to be criminal. However, the statute of limitations had expired. In response to this video, Sean released an apology, which I covered in a separate video. Essentially, he said that his behavior was inexcusable and he took full responsibility. He was committed to being a better man and attended therapy. The video concluded with Sean saying, "I'm truly sorry." In May 2024, Sean was sued by a woman who accused him of committing an assault of a sexual nature against her 4 times from the mid-1990s to the early 2000s. In June 2024, Howard University revoked Sean's honorary doctorate. In July of that year, a woman sued Sean for allegedly coercing her into sex work. Sean found himself the target of another lawsuit a few months later. On September 16, 2024, Sean was arrested and charged with racketeering, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. He was denied bail. Here is a summary of the indictment. It's important to note that these are only allegations. Sean maintains the presumption of innocence. According to the government, over the course of several years, Sean has demonstrated a pervasive pattern of mistreating women. At various times, this mistreatment featured physical, sexual, emotional, and verbal components. Using his position of power as the owner of several companies, Sean regularly coerced women into participating in highly orchestrated performances of sexual activity with male commercial sex workers. Sean referred to these encounters as freak-offs. These events often occurred in hotel rooms and were facilitated by Sean's employees and associates like personal assistants, supervisors, security personnel, and household staff. They helped Sean arrange and conceal these sexual encounters. Sean was the leader of a criminal enterprise. The female victims participated in the freak-offs due to intimidation, threats, drugs, Sean's influence over their careers, offers of financial support, and through violence. The freak-offs were elaborate sexual performances that Sean arranged, directed, and often video recorded. During these events, Sean would engage in self-service activity. Sometimes sex workers were transported across state lines and internationally to participate. The events would sometimes last multiple days and involve multiple sex workers. In advance of a freak-off, Sean's associates would stock the hotel rooms with linens, lighting equipment, baby oil, and lubricant. When the police raided Sean's properties in Los Angeles and Miami, they seized over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. The dedication and innovation behind Sean's lubrication preparation indicated that he had an expectation of recreation and celebration. During the activity, controlled substances were distributed to the victims, which kept them compliant. Sometimes Sean would engage in violent behavior, including punching, dragging, kicking, striking, and throwing objects. Victims often sustained injuries that took days or weeks to heal. Sean would coerce his victims to remain concealed until they recovered, so they would not be observed by the public and expose his criminal activity. In addition to all the other methods of manipulation he deployed, Sean kept the recordings that he made as collateral to ensure the continued silence of his victims. After an event, Sean would often use IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and drug use. His associates would clean the hotel rooms for him. The charges that Sean faces are very serious. If convicted, he is facing a maximum penalty of life in prison. Now moving to my analysis. Here are my thoughts on a few areas that stood out to me in this case. Item number 1. Sean has a long criminal history, but he has never faced anything like racketeering. This charge is an organized crime which involves engaging in a pattern of illegal activities. Only 0.4% of defendants in federal cases go to trial and are acquitted. The remainder of the defendants who avoid being convicted do so by getting their charges dismissed, but that does not seem likely in this case. The government is aware that Sean is not only a billionaire, but he has a reputation of concealing his crimes. They probably expect him to intimidate or pay off witnesses, destroy evidence, and target his victims. It doesn't look like Sean is going to deny that these freak-offs occurred, rather that no crime was committed during them. For example, Sean's defense attorney told the court that the sex acts featured in the indictment were consensual. The vast majority of federal cases result in a guilty plea. However, Sean appears determined to fight the charges in court. A guilty plea is probably a better move for him because the government may offer him some way to avoid spending his entire life in prison. Item number 2. It says something about Sean's thought process that he decided to remain in the United States even after his properties were raided in March 2024. He must have known that serious federal charges were on the way, yet he did not bother to flee the country. Sean could have gone to a country that does not have an extradition treaty with the United States, such as Ukraine, Congo, Vietnam, Indonesia, Cambodia, or Taiwan. A lack of an extradition treaty does not mean that a country will not extradite someone to the United States, but Sean is extraordinarily wealthy. There are countries where citizenship can be obtained by investment, for example, Morocco and Hong Kong. If Sean had become a citizen in a country like that, he could not have been extradited no matter what. Sean demonstrated an unrealistic amount of confidence by staying around and waiting to be arrested. He is so accustomed to getting what he wants, it never occurred to him that he could go to prison for life. Sean probably thought that he could manipulate the government just like he manipulated his victims. Even 1,000 bottles of lubricant would not be enough to let Sean slide out of this trouble. Item number 3.
And he always has to slide those in, those comments.
What do I think happened in this case? This is just a theory, my opinion. Sean Combs is self-centered, grandiose, impulsive, irresponsible, immature, hedonistic, materialistic, vindictive, petty, cold, callous, manipulative, deceptive, sadistic, has a sense of entitlement, and is exceedingly creepy. He was able to leverage these traits to achieve tremendous financial success in the music industry. Fame and fortune led to Sean never being alone. He was always surrounded by an extremely loyal entourage who would have done anything to keep the party going. They viewed being near Sean as some type of privilege, and they were excited to do his bidding. Sean found himself in trouble a few times, but largely avoided meaningful consequences. It didn't take long before Sean realized that he could conceal just about any crime using his position of power. He was eager to let his sadistic nature run free and arranged the freak-offs, as he called them. The behavior that excited Sean was watching other people have sex as he maintained a tight grip on the action. With gallons of lubricant on hand, Sean developed a well-oiled criminal
He said gallons. With gallons of lubricants.
machine, which allowed him to slip through the
Well-oiled
cracks.
machine.
Once he started engaging in his sexual events, Sean convinced himself that he had made a slick move. He was never going to lose his handle on the situation. It was a slippery slope, but there was no friction from Sean's associates. They were happy to grease the wheels and slide everything into place to meet Sean's desires. Sean was never really concerned about his enterprise going down the loop. I mean, the tube, going down the tube.
It's the way he
If Sean
says
had
it.
been less ambitious, he probably could have escaped justice, but he was crushed under the weight of his own sadism. He just couldn't get enough. The more he engaged in the freak-offs, the more he wanted. He may have had access to an ocean of lubricant, but he was stuck in a rut.
He never cracks a smile, or it's the lack of facial expressions. I can't take it.
No quantity of grease will allow Sean to slip through the bars of his jail cell. He is a prisoner
Sorry.
of his own dark desires. Those are my thoughts in the case of Sean Combs. Please put any opinions and thoughts in the comment section. They consistently generate an interesting dialogue. As always, I hope you found my analysis of this topic to be informative. Thanks for watching.
Very informative, yes. They generate an interesting dialogue. If you comment in Dr. Grande's chat, I should actually share his link, because that dude, I forgot. I haven't seen any of his stuff in my feed in a long time, but he cracks me the fuck up. I'm telling you, it's that lack of facial expression that kills me. He's always so serious about the craziest topics, and every time he said freak-offs, it's the way he said it. All right, let me just drop that over here. In case you want to check out some of his stuff, because he is pretty funny. And then I'll put the link to that other guy if you want to check out. The guy that was barricaded the other day when I streamed it, because I don't have time right now to do, I'm going to be ending, but let's see. I'm going to put his channel in here. Whoa, not all that. In case you want to go check out his videos, which maybe I'll go over that sometime, just his shit. But I put together a mod podge, whatever you call it, of shit today, just for a quick live. Now, did somebody say that old Mama T's live next? I can't say if that's true or not, unless someone in the chat, if that's what they meant. So she could be. I think freak-offs is probably in the Urban Dictionary now. Life's a dance. I think he created the term himself. You know, he had so much power, he could even make new phrases. Okay, we got Mama T, if that's your thing to watch. We have, I think Katie had said she might be going live, but I don't know if she is now. Oh, wow. We need a good old mammoth stream. We haven't seen one in a while. But anyways, with that note, I'm going to make me some chicken meatballs. This is usually a shorter one, you know. I just wanted to cram as much stuff in here as I could. I think I had... I mean, yeah, I could only do so much in the time. I should have went live earlier because I had hella tabs to share with you. It's Sandy. Sometimes it's amusing. Sometimes it's amusing. It depends. It's very amusing when people stream, I think. It can make it more fun. Because then you don't get blocked and you can all laugh in the chat without getting blocked. Well, thanks. I was, pretty short. I thank y'all for coming. Let's see. Thanks for coming on such short notice and for such a short show. But like I said, I got to make my chicken meatballs. I wonder what Diddy's going to be having for dinner tonight. Yes, that would be lovely, traders. If that happened, we would all appreciate it greatly. If you could make that happen, that would be fabulous. Let us know in the chat if that's a yay or nay. I'll put on the music for a minute so you can chat, and I'm going to go get into my food here. Thanks again for coming. Thanks for those couple gifted memberships I got. Thank you. Appreciate it so much. Y'all have a good evening. Oh, oily meatballs. I don't want to think of that when I'm making meatballs. Because his first meal, I'm not making Swedish meatballs, damn it. I'm doing chicken meatballs. Okay, it's a no-go for traders. All right. It's to the bushes. Y'all can go, I guess, until maybe someone else goes live. Y'all have a good night.
There's a monster under my bed, and at my window there's a dragon. I accepted the challenge, it turned me into a savage. I broke a promise to myself again. I don't know why I am so vulnerable. They try to help, but I won't let them in. I guess rock bottom's where I'm comfortable. Both my feet planted when most people would have panicked. I embraced the storm. I found beauty in what was damaged. I'm not afraid of the boogeyman. Instead I look at him like he's a friend. There's not a monster out there in the world that's scarier than the one that's within. There's a creature in my closet. I can hear him rumbling around. The demon screaming in the distance creates such a humbling sound. The monster that's outside my window, he's like family to me now. The things that people are afraid of never let me down.
Not to say this no, but I'm hated so. My religious freaks say I'm the biggest beast and that I made it grow. When I spray this flow, I created mo. Creatures are like when I heat up the mic, I'm a breed of the night, but I'm playing it though. By the darkness I'm blinded, I sparked it and shined it. They find it cause mine is woe. For that they label me a demon seed. Wanna disable, need to see them bleed. Hinder me fatally and see them grieve, no. You would not believe the creature inside me. If you deceive, Khalifa's alive. We disagree when people defy me or try to take his. Whatever the fuckery toward them, you don't wanna wake this. You forsake his with a sacred, then it's over no matter what your faith is. I'm a creature.
There's a creature in my closet. I can hear him rumbling around. The demon screaming in the distance creates such a humbling sound. The monster that's outside my window, he's like family to me now. The things that people are afraid of never let me down.
I managed to get myself in trouble, all of this pain. Yeah, I'm down in the double dose of liquor's always to blame. If I could keep myself sober, I keep my hands to myself. I take a shot and it's over, that's how I end up in hell. I hope I don't pass it down to my offspring. They get everything from their daddy, feel like I'm addicted to all things. There's no reason to change, gone too far now. And I'm stuck in my ways, back at the bar now. They say I'm a flirt and they right, I ain't perfect, alright. So when I'm thirsty and perking and purposely searching for something that's hurting me so I just can't back up and go, I just back out of it slow. That's how it go, I like to back out the hole. What next like I don't know. I think they be laughing at me, hands be grabbing at me. Feel like God let it happen to me, dabby blasphemy. And these be a dabby dash really. I think I better let it go. Either that or I gotta let it know. I can't do that.
There's a creature in my closet. I can hear him rumbling around. The demon screaming in the distance creates such a humbling sound. The monster that's outside my window, he's like family to me now. The things that people are afraid of never let me down.
Grab you a good seat in the mammoth bushes. Bye.